Are you in here? Where's Angel, you fucking bitch? So, you thought you could best me? One move, one sound, and I am jamming this up your throat.
Alright.
And don't tell me what the fuck is going on around here.
Well, since you asked so nicely, but not here. This lake got here. You mind we go to my place?
Hello, gentle listener, and welcome back to YUH with Aaron, Philip, and Lisa. This week we're talking to Gino
Raphael Payne.
Okay. Okay. And we're talking
Bill's right there, ready for it.
his movie. Gino, you want to tell us a little bit about your movie?
Well, so the film that we're all very excited about now at 360 Films is a film called Goon of the Lagoon. It is a thriller. It focuses on our main character. Her name is Mia. She's a young woman who is recently, she's still mourning the tragic death of her parents through drowning. And so to distract herself, she agrees to go with her friends on a trip, but it's deep into the forest to get away, of course.
Near a lake.
At a lake house.
Yeah, but to arrive, when she arrives, shocking to her surprise, it's a lake house. And still determined to remain optimistic, she tries to continue on, but through her depression, her recreational drug use, and her medication, the lines between reality starts to blur. After a number of unsettling events, she's faced with the question, is this reality or is this whole thing in my head? But the hardest part of her whole journey is, can she convince her adrenaline-seeking junkie buddies that this entire nightmare is terrifyingly real? It's like a very sexy psychological thriller with a creature.
Yeah. Now, the question is Goon of the Lagoon a working title or the official title?
It is the official title. It has been the subject of a lot of conversation, but through that conversation, somehow we landed back right there.
Well, we did get to screen the film and enjoyed it. It's kind of a throwback, I think, to some movies, maybe in the 90s and early 2000s.
A little bit, yeah.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll theme, kind of
late 80s, early 90s.
It's really
all
what I like.
All the horror movie tropes, it feels like.
Yeah. Which is good.
But I love the suspense.
It had a certain nostalgia while having a newness.
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the cool things about working in indie film is that you kind of get to make what you want to make. But if you do too much of that, you won't be making anything at all. So what we try to do is we try to hear what the market wants and what the market is demanding. And horror movies with the traditional horror tropes is always a thing. And that translates across the borders. So that's very attractive to producers to try to jump on board. So that's what we did.
Yeah. It's really there's a lot of suspense in it. That's kind of what I liked about it. The scenes tended to build, towards some sort of event, that kept the plot moving. But I like the way that you utilize suspense to bring those scenes to life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And just you asked about like our setup, our system. We tend to talk about things with trying desperately not to do too many spoilers.
Gotcha.
So we want to talk about the subject, the issues. We even can go completely off and not talk about it at all, just occasionally mentioning the Goon of the Lagoon.
But
Awesome.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some
With
theories
Gino
during the
Raphael
movie.
Payne. Mhm.
I had theories during the movie that turned out to be wrong, but it would probably be wrong to discuss them.
Well, I guess I'm let's talk about the movie as if we're talking about it and we stopped watching at the point where let's say we stopped talking about it at the point where Mia confronts the other guys at the house that someone is missing.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, so pretty early on.
And she's
Okay.
claiming that this person is missing, and they're just like, oh, likes to wander off by themselves,
Yeah, yeah.
likes to
I think
explore, and
Nooks and
she's like,
crannies.
no, this isn't right.
you know what's funny about Nooks and Crannies is uh,
Yeah.
Greg Dorchak, our awesome Mr. Leonard,
He's
was
hilarious.
a notorious
Yeah.
ad-libber. And it was great, but we loved it. Like, I really wanted everyone to take control of their character. And I know people say this and it's like baloney, but so much of what he says is nowhere in the script. In fact, I was like, did dude learn his lines, or did he just say, okay, here's what's going on with my character, let's just make it happen?
Yeah.
And he
That
was
would
just
be
awesome.
me.
Yeah.
But I say this in the most complimentary way possible. He was creepy as fuck. He
You
was.
don't gotta use that. I'm on your side.
Didn't seem that way.
Yeah.
What were you dumping in the lake?
Well, now that's a long story. I can't make short. I guess there really ain't much point in taking these no more. Why'd you have to sit down there? I think we got a little bit of time before the next phase. I'll just light a cigarette here.
Enough games.
Don't do me any favor. You wanna hit me right there? But if you pull that trigger, I guarantee you all be dead before the sun come up.
He was really like, I couldn't understand. Like, I couldn't comprehend how these young people knew that he was lurking in the woods and would creep up on you, just walk up on you with some kind of sordid tail, and just
Or a
like,
weapon.
yeah, this crazy.
Angel's known him all
drawing.
his life, right? He's been the caretaker there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has,
Yeah, no,
but he's not keeping to himself.
He's a hereditary caretaker.
He seems
Yeah.
to enjoy these stories that he's able to
Mhm.
scare the shit out of these kids with.
Yeah, like at one point they're around the campfire and they're getting ready to tell ghost stories, and he's like, yeah, the guy with the hook. I'll tell you a story.
Yeah, I mean that was not in the script. Like,
Yeah.
that was not in the script at all. In fact, so
I think
someone
I'm
else was
frozen
supposed.
on that scene right now.
Yeah, that's that scene. In this scene, okay, so here's a crazy bit. One of the other characters was supposed to deliver this story, but due to a sequence of events, it couldn't happen. And so we'll leave it at that. And so we were approaching him. We're like, "Hey, do you think you can maybe grasp this and take a hold of the story?" He's like, "Okay, well, let's give it a go." And he just went with it. And like some of the first takes he did are in the cut. And we did, indie filmmaking. You don't get take 33. You barely get. You can't get take 15. You barely get take 5. And so yeah. So that was never, the whole story was never a part of his character at all.
Yeah, but he's an accomplished actor, right? Greg Dorchak.
Mm-hmm.
He was on I think I saw Prison Break.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was, what are some of his other credentials? I'm not sure. Have you worked with him before? Do you have a working relationship with him, or?
No, so we hadn't worked with him before, but I mean, he's definitely got a resume. But the most impressive part, I mean, he's a great actor, but like his writing, he writes, and I think he has a couple films of his own that he's produced. And
Yeah, I
so,
think he's director, producer too. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so he, when we were talking to him about various different parts of the story and the script, and you all sit down with each other, and you kind of actors have their questions, and a lot of times those questions lead to like, oh yeah, we didn't think of that, that's a hole, or yeah, we didn't think of that, that's an angle. There was a lot of those moments with him because again, it's indie filmmaking, and everybody's got to have their ear to the ground if you're gonna turn out something that people can watch.
Yeah. Well, some of the other characters in this, we had Angel and his girlfriend
Vicky.
Vicky, right? They
How
brought
many
the
costume changes did Vicky have? I think about every 30 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was a podcaster,
Yeah.
not
Uh,
podcaster,
influencer, yeah.
influencer. Yeah, but they didn't have any, internet, so
Well, I think
she was
it's
just filming for later.
it's billed as like a seductive thriller, and these are the two that kind of brought the seductive part.
Yeah, they definitely brought seductive.
Yeah.
They were there to have a good
They were almost naked most of the time.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was
Yeah.
It was hard to get Renee, who plays Angel, to keep his pants on. God, it was
I
partly
got
us
that
and partly
feeling
him.
that he was okay with being half naked most of the time.
Yeah, it was. We certainly would imply, and then he would be like, "Yeah, yeah, sure, man, let's go." And we'd be like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
But yeah,
Are you okay with nudity? Drop trowel.
yeah.
That
The
was the
first-
feeling that I got.
The first time we did his audition, and we were like, yeah, but then there's this scene. I wonder if he's gonna be okay with that. And then my daughter, who was working as one of the PAs, was like, well, have you seen his portfolio? And I was like, what? Yeah, of course. And she was like, well, did you you didn't see the scene where his entire ass is out? I was like, no, what? And so I go back and I'm digging through his portfolio, and true enough, there's a scene exactly like what we needed for the door when he answers the door, and I'm like, oh, okay, he looks like he's good. It's good to go. Let's go.
Just the man for the job. But
Just the man for
Yeah.
this.
Comfortable in
Right.
his body.
right.
Yes,
Mhm.
he was
And,
great. He was great.
And of course there is Kai.
He looked like he was having a lot of fun.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sabrina, though. We should talk about Sabrina because we're talking about the suspense, and we're talking about all the attributes of the film.
She's the owner that lived in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah, but she's the one that actually brings a degree of reality to the situation. It's not just me as paranoia and fear and everything. There's actually something going on during this vacation, and that kind of centers around Sabrina. Right?
Yeah, I mean, working with her was amazing because she has a workflow that is so fluid. She's a very quiet, lonesome kind of person that likes her time, and she goes and she reads all by herself. We spent the entire time filming at that lake house. The entire cast and crew was there. And she would be one of the people that would go and find her own stuff. We would call her the cat because she would find a perch somewhere and just sit there by herself and read and kind of be quiet. And then she'd emerge and she'd sneak up on you really whoa, what are you doing there?
And in a way that reminds me of her character.
Right.
Yeah,
Who
she just
who
pops
was
up.
supposed to be the unobtrusive owner of the B&B.
Yeah, she was meant to be unobtrusive, right?
Got an
Right.
interesting
Almost
accent too. Is
typecast.
she
Mhm.
Dutch or something?
No, so she is from Minnesota. Ooh, I don't want to get. I think she's
Oh,
from
okay.
Montana or Minnesota, one of those.
So
But
so
she
that
moved.
was an affectation.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah. I mean, what we found interesting about her early on, we were like, is she 19 or is she
40.
37?
Right.
Which one is it? She could play this whole
Yeah.
range, and we thought that was helpful because this character needed to appear old timey, but somehow not be aging. Um, So it gave her this sort of
Almost
Nailed
ageless.
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah, there was actually a scene where she transforms actually before your eyes. That
Yes.
she's kind of you kind of
A few
see her and you
scenes.
take the bags around her eyes and stuff like that. It's kind of, you know, don't, you kind of take her for granted. She's just kind of, and then all of a sudden
Then
she
her hair's
turns
down.
into, yeah,
Yeah,
right, right.
because Angel talks about how she owned the house when he used to come there when he was a teenager.
And
Yeah.
yeah, you see her and
And
it's
it's
like,
like
wow,
8 years later, and he's like, well, she looks the same.
Yeah. It's that whole thing, and I think like from Angel's point of view, like we all know that person that was like the one that we all had a crush on in high school or college or wherever it was. But then we see them later, and we're kind of like sometimes they deliver still, and sometimes it's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
interesting. But for Angel, I think Angel was kind of like, wow, she still looks exact. She's still hot. It's how I remember. He's thinking that she's how I remember. He isn't quite trusting the fact that no, no, it's exactly as you remember, and that's a little bit weird.
Mm.
Mhm. Well,
But he seems like a kind of go with the flow dude.
yeah, he's kind of
Yeah,
open to the whole
Yeah.
idea probably, but
mostly high all the time.
Yeah.
right.
How
Yeah.
difficult was it to shoot in the water at night?
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing is that I'm not a great swimmer, and neither was a lot of my camera crew. But we
You're in
had
Las
like,
Vegas, right?
yeah, exactly. Like, what do we know about like water? Um, and but there was one guy, our producer Devin Tier, who is like a world class swimmer. Like he basically sat for the U.S. Olympic team. Um, and he spent the entire time in the water. Like from the time we would go out there at 5 p.m. and start setting up lights and trying to block out everything to the time we would go back in, um, literally at like 5 a.m. He would spend most of that time in the water. And he's the all-star of every single scene in the water because for the
Awesome.
actors, the boats like shifting around in the water, the platforms that we're shooting off of, we're shooting on one boat, shooting characters on another boat. So then we first were not anchoring either boat, and he was kind of like the motor for one of the boats. Then we realized like, well, this boat's shifting and that boat's shifting, and then we're like, move your boat back to the right, and we're like, well, they're like, I didn't move my boat, and then we look, we realize like, well, both us and the boat that we're shooting has shifted like 300 yards to the right, but it happens slowly, so you don't notice it. So then we started anchoring the boats down, and then like it was just like it was madness. So, and he spent the entire that entire time like ferrying people back and forth, really like assisting being in the water when people were filming. I mean, it's a very indie film, so there was not like all these protocols for people in the water. That was not a thing. It was Devon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That shot where the girls goes out in the boat and the car is shining its lights over the water it looked really cool, I thought.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was. What was awesome was the fog. The fog was a paid actor. We were like,
Mm.
what? Well, we didn't put that fog out there.
That was just there.
It was just that every night at a certain temperature, the fog would just come, and it actually tricked us a couple of times because we didn't know what a precipitation letdown was. Um, and so we would be out there filming, and then we feel the smallest raindrop, and we'd be like, "Oh, it's trying to rain! Everybody, let's go, let's go, let's go!" And then we'd realize that like the fog is just
It's the
dropping,
fog
and then
condensing.
starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting again. And then so the first time that happened, we had packed up everything, and we're like, "What? It's not raining?" They're like, "No, the fog just condensed, and it's time to start over."
Yeah.
So we started shooting in the house that night, but then the following nights we were up to it. We were like, "Okay, that's what that was."
Well,
Yeah.
that's
The fog
interesting.
looked really cool on the water, definitely.
So we should discussion of the fog. We should mention that it was shot in the Ozarks, Mississippi.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Shot out in the Ozarks. We were there. It was really cool. Like so the cabin that we shot at is my family's lake house.
Oh, cool.
And for years, my family's always like curious what the heck I do, and they see me, I do like live events, but I also do film, and they're always like, they have a ton of questions, and so I'm always like saying like, oh, this would be great, this would be awesome, to shoot at, and a lot of my family is from Kansas, so to them it's not like a cool environment. I mean, they like it, but it's not like anything worth putting on film, and I'm like, no, this is like cool, like we got to make it, like we got to do something, and finally I got a script that made sense, and I was like, dude, what if I come here and I shoot here, like shoot the entire project here? And they were like, yeah, sure. Like, I mean, how are you gonna do that? You're not gonna find talent. I'm like, we're gonna ferry everyone in, you know. And so yeah, we shot there the entire time. It was a great experience. I mean, we cured arachnophobia for all the entire cast. It was like they call it the sanctuary of spiders.
Oh,
But yeah, we
oh
cured
yeah.
arachnophobia. We just have like some of the most awesome BTS footage of people like cave jumping and tubing and just really like it was like a big summer camp. When it was time to go, everybody was, how it is at the end of film
Yeah.
projects. It's
Perfect
always
summer
very,
movie.
yeah, exactly.
We've been talking about Goon of the Lagoon with Gino Raphael Payne.
Mhm.
Um, so, I guess the story revolves around, Kai is Mia's boyfriend. He goes missing early on, and then the story unfolds over the course of the next half day or
Mhm.
so as they're trying to find him.
Well, like it's mostly overnight though,
Yeah.
but it does look like there was like one scene where it looked like the curtains were closed so you could film a night scene, but I think there was like a little bit of daylight almost showing through. Is that just
What
me
scene
being
is that?
nitpicky?
What scene is it?
I'm not
Really?
sure. It might have been something else.
Gotcha.
I
It's
I
didn't
don't know.
notice.
possible.
But like there was like a lot of light coming through a window.
Yeah, it's
I can't
possible.
remember what scene it was.
For sure. We definitely shot we tried to keep the schedule 5 p.m. to, we start shooting at 5 p.m. because we didn't want to keep switching back between day to night because we had a lot of exterior things to do, so we had to shoot at night. So the entire production schedule was designed to start at 5 p.m.
Mhm.
However, it is possible that there was a day at 5 a.m. Not 5 a.m., 5 p.m. where there was light, but I don't think so. What it could have been was sometimes what we do is if we get a window that's completely blacked out, we'll put a light in that window to try to simulate some light
That's
from
entirely
exterior.
possible.
Or it could be an exterior light that's shining on one of those white window seats that gives a little impression. But I think we filmed at 5 p.m. every single night, other than the first night, because we just didn't want to interrupt the schedules. We wanted people to get used to being awake at nighttime.
It was a shot in Mia's room, I believe.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Hmm.
I have to check that
So,
out. I'll be looking for that next time.
oh.
Okay.
I mean, it
It,
wasn't
it,
like super obvious. It's just I have a tendency to notice weird stuff.
yeah, it wouldn't. It would probably.
Philip
It
didn't
definitely
notice
wouldn't
it.
be the strangest. It definitely wouldn't be the strangest faux pas that I can find. But I was there, so I know all the faux pas to look for.
Yeah, you
You
know
know.
what? You know where the skeletons are buried.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
know all the things where I was like, hopefully they never noticed that.
It's nothing else was glaring for me.
Well,
Thank you.
So
that's a whole thing,
that's
breaking
the
down
only
film.
thing that,
What was it, like 3 Men
yeah.
and a Baby, where they thought there was a ghost that was caught in the curtains in the background of a scene, and then the Wizard of Oz scene, and there were some
Yeah.
things in like artificial intelligence. There's like little Easter eggs that people find. So now
Mhm.
people will have to go see the film to try to spot this, ray of light
Yes.
that Lisa
You
just
gotta
mentioned.
find that daytime scene in the middle of the
It's
night.
just a sliver
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the
in
whole
Gotcha.
between
thing,
the curtains, and
other than
it's like
flashbacks, I guess it was
almost a
all
bright
night.
light. Could be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotta be. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for it now too. Everyone, let
And
me
I
know.
think it
Everyone, take a
was. I
screen,
think
take
it
a
was.
screenshot, and let me know what you see. Isn't that a sick promotion?
Yeah.
Take a screenshot and hashtag me, and let
We'll
me
go
know.
back through it.
We got to
Yeah.
remember Gino's probably gone to over this. He's edited this
Right.
film. He's
Right.
probably
Mm-hmm.
gone over it with a fine tooth comb. So he
Yeah.
probably doesn't. If you haven't seen it, he probably
Mm-hmm.
is suspicious of your.
No, I mean it's probably there. Like I've
You want to know
found
where it is. Yeah.
when you send a film in for QC, uh, it's interesting the stuff they find because it's a combination between producers who QC all the time, every single day. That's just their job is to QC films,
Yeah.
and robots that are like the software's running through, films running through a software, and the stuff they find, you're like, what?
No,
How?
Aaron, I think you would be good at that.
That's a great.
Uh,
What have they
I'm
found
good
in the
at it with
past?
books. I can find any typos in a book, but
Oh,
not so
yeah.
much in a movie.
What are some of the oddest things that QC has found pouring through a film like that? Did,
The one that they find the most is they'll be like, audio equipment visible, and you'll be like, what? Like,
Boom mic.
yeah, you'd be like, is the boom mic, or because there's boom mics, there's lavs, right? And you'll swear that there's no boom mic or lav, but then like you go and look, and it's like a piece of
There it is.
glass or some glasses that someone's wearing, or like it's like the blue light from the lav is like flashing through a thin shirt or something, and you're like, holy moly, like how did they see that? So yeah, it's the audio equipment visible note is one that
comes up?
happens a lot. And then also chroma shift is the most common one, but chroma shift typically happens because when color correction is done, it's done on a different layer. So you don't actually color the footage itself, you color a layer above it so you can change it when you want to. And sometimes those layers, like you'll miss like a frame or something at the beginning or the end, and then you have like a color shift. But it'll be like one frame and it'll be like color shift. And you're like, how? I can totally see it now, but how did you see that?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. That's the nuts and bolts of movie making. That's what we like to hear about.
So
But
where do you
Are you
make the
guys film
changes to
producers? Are you guys filmmakers?
no, we're just
No.
fascinated with creative people. The creative
I
process. So,
I worked as a software developer for Disney, supporting movie distribution for 26 years,
Wow. So,
until about a year and a half ago.
well, I'm gonna
So
go watch some of your work that you've created to deliver products to us. Like as soon as we get off, I got a schedule with my kids. We're gonna go watch The Skeleton Crew.
uh,
That's coming out on Disney today. So we're gonna
yeah,
go watch that with him tonight.
that's out now. I guess the new Moana movie's out now.
Yeah,
Sounds.
yeah. So
oh
The
yeah, I've been
Skeleton
seeing
Yeah.
that.
Crew is the Star Wars, the new
Mhm.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I know that. I know. I'm trying to think what else is big for Disney besides the Star. Yeah,
Did
Yeah,
Moana come out? Did it come out already?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
nice.
think it's
Or
either
it's
this week
coming
or
out Christmas, maybe?
I've seen ads for it.
I think
Yeah,
it was the Thanksgiving release.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
we just went and saw Red One, and I don't remember seeing it in the previews. I would have thought we'd have seen that.
No.
Is that the Santa
Remember it?
Claus
Was it?
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You might have stepped away for a moment.
yeah.
Wait, what is Red One?
It's a rock. It's The Rock and RK. Is it Rowling
No.
or J.K. Rowling?
No.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K.
Yes,
Simmons.
J.K.
J.K.
Simmons.
Simmons. Yeah,
And
it's a Santa Claus story.
Chris Pine, I think.
Hmm.
And it's a Santa Claus story.
Is The
Simmons
Rock
plays
Santa
Santa
Claus?
Claus. He gets kidnapped
Right, and The
Is this
Rock is
theater or
like
is it on streaming?
in theaters.
yeah.
Okay, great. Gotcha. I'm always like tracking anything that's coming out on streaming
Yeah,
because
my it's got a really high audience rating, not so much critic.
gotcha.
So The Rock plays his like plays his like bodyguard, basically.
Santa's bodyguard.
Yeah,
I liked it pretty much. Philip
I liked it,
he liked it more than he expected to.
but I didn't like the fact that they made Santa Claus was supposed to be all of a sudden he's like
ripped.
he's a gym rat. He's not like the jolly old.
He's a gym rat with chocolate chip
Not
cookies
the
going in
tub
constantly.
full of jelly or whatever.
Hey, that
You
sounds
know,
like
like The
I
Rock
work
is
out to eat
spotting
out.
him as he's like lifting weights.
No, he's flat tummy, thick arms,
That's
Yeah.
there's another movie I think on.
hardcore.
There's a movie trending on Netflix right now, Hot Frosty.
Yeah.
Hot Frosty.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like
what
a
it sounds like?
it's like it's your basic Hallmark Christmas movie. I think this widow makes a hot snowman, anatomically hot snowman, and I guess she kisses it and it comes to life, and it's some
That
big,
is
Nimbo
genius.
guy.
As an
Yeah,
independent filmmaker, I wish I was. I wish it was me. Because see, this is the thing, though,
that's
right?
one of the things I want to watch on Netflix, actually.
That's
Hot
awesome.
frost.
Because like if you come into AFM, the American film market, and you say like,
Mm.
"Hey, I've got a family film with a snowman that comes alive and he's hot." The first they're all just their ears are just gonna perk right up like
Yeah.
what? Like oh yeah,
Hot
let's go. We want to
frosty,
buy it.
family friendly.
Yeah.
Is he family friendly?
I don't think she
Oh, I
fucks the snowman from what I've heard.
We get that out of the way.
Brrr.
So some concepts are just right out of the box, a couple sentences and
Yeah.
bam,
Yeah.
it's already
Yeah.
in the
Is
The,
he
door.
complete?
the guy I heard that did the review, he's like, yeah, the only reason my wife wanted to watch it was because this lady was going to fuck a snowman. And then when it became clear she wasn't going to fuck the snowman, she's on her phone.
I mean, did she
Wow.
build him complete? How many carrots did she have? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Right.
A
And
six
where'd she
pack of
get
carrots, I guess.
How many carrots does it take to build a frosty
to build a
snowman?
hot
Uh,
snowman?
Yeah. I mean,
Usually
I
one,
haven't
but in
seen
this
it, but
case,
it's trending and it sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that will get the attention of the distributors right away. Like, I mean, you come in with like an original concept like that feels like it's gonna
Yeah.
everybody like it's built on IP that you can use, right? It's
Think
built on, that's
if you saw Schitt's Creek, there was a guy that was like a hot vet or something like that,
Mhm.
veterinarian. He's hot frosty.
Okay, got you. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Right, of
Okay.
course. That's perfect.
All right.
Oh, okay. The daughter's fiance, husband.
So move
Sounds
over
right.
Christmas
Yeah.
vacation. We got a new
Can't
tradition.
remember if they stayed
Hot
together or not.
frosty.
Forget how that ended.
We gotta go check
But we're
this
still
out.
watching. We can watch too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta
Well, Gino, you've got a lot of other credits. I mean, this film was fun and everything, but you have a lot of credits. You've done a lot of things. You
Mhm.
worked on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so in 2011, I had just finished working on Walking Dead. And they needed a crew to go to do what they call like forward scouting for the locations. And we had to go out and do this filming of these like castles and all the like landscapes and stuff like that. So I go out with this crew and they're like, we're getting all these plates, these B-roll plates that they're going to use for VFX, and it's just a job. We had no idea. It was code name. At that time, it was code name Fire and Ice, which is now they're thinking about having it be a name of an actual show. But we're running around, multiple countries. We were in Morocco, we were in Belfast. We were in New Zealand, and we were filming all these plates. And eventually, we get them shot. A year and a half later, they call us back and say, "Okay, cool. They're gonna do the pilot." We go to Paint Hall Studios in Belfast. We shoot the pilot, and then we think nothing of it. We hear that the pilot was terrible, but we've heard that before on stuff that made it to TV.
He said more incest, please.
I've seen some
Exactly.
terrible. I've seen some terrible pilots.
Yeah, and it was just like it was one of those where finally somebody called us and said, "Okay, we're gonna shoot the series. We're gonna shoot episode 1 all over again." So I was a part of episode 1 through 3 on season 1, and then a number of more on season 2 and 3. But season 3 of Game of Thrones original was my last season being involved.
That was all location scouting stuff.
No, so by the time we got into actual production, I was with the B unit camera department.
Oh,
So, but with Game of Thrones, so typically B unit is like go get me some B roll. But with Game of Thrones, B unit and C unit were actual main units. So B unit was Belfast, in anything in Ireland. A unit was Morocco and anything in Northern Africa, and C unit was New Zealand and America. in UK proper, like where
I
they
didn't
film
realize they were
studios.
filming in that many continents. My God.
Yeah, and so they all filmed simultaneously. They all would have sometimes they would have different directors on the same episode. And they were all the main units. So we would call it A unit would be A unit, and A B unit would be the unit that goes and gets the B roll for that unit. So B unit was its own unit, its own studio, and
So the B unit had a B. Was there a BB unit?
yeah, BB unit and CB unit.
CB
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah.
But on that show, did they lean on AI the way they would if it were being shot today?
At that time,
AI?
it wasn't even a thing. At that time, we didn't even. It wasn't. At least it wasn't a thing that we knew about. That I knew
Or
about.
CGI.
There you go. CGI. That's
Oh, absolutely.
then yes.
Oh, absolutely.
No, they use
There are
real
no
dragons.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but you talk about this humongous enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's like you think that they might be able to mitigate some of the overhead at the extended cost by
How they got that guy to agree to actually be beheaded?
by actually even employing more CGI, not AI, but CGI.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a part of like epic fantasy is like we want it to be so real. And so, for horror movies and some thrillers, we're sympathetic to animatronics and practical effects. But in epic fantasy, they call the intellectual viewer, where you're going to sit there and you're going to give them an accent from an accent doesn't exist, that from a world that doesn't exist, with cultures and traditions that you basically got to go read extra material to even understand why it's the case. And oftentimes there's languages that's made up that if you even care to know what they're saying, you need to go and learn that languge too. So
Kind of like Klingon.
Yeah, exactly. Klingon. That was like one of the first sort of TV properties that did this, right? Or film. That was a film, right? It was film first. When it comes to
first, wasn't it?
Oh, Star Trek was TV first, but
Yeah, Star Trek was
Doesn't
TV
matter.
first.
Okay, see, I'm thinking that was Star Wars. See, I'm wrong already.
1966.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was Star Wars, but you're right. That is Star Trek. Klingon.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is it? This is which one
Captain
is this?
Kirk. Yeah, it's Star Trek.
That's
Spock.
yeah,
Spock,
that's
yeah.
Spock. So that's Vulcan.
That's Star
That's
Trek.
Vulcan. Okay, Vulcan. Yeah. Okay.
Right. No, that's Star Trek with
Yeah.
the Klingons. Yeah.
Right.
And the Romulans, who are cousins to the. I might be a bit of a Star Trek nerd.
You're
I'll
getting
shut up
deep
now.
No, I like it. I like it because
Yeah.
I was never like a huge fan of Star Trek growing up, but then the new series came out, and don't ask me which one,
The
but
J.J. Abrams ones.
yes, the J.J. Abrams ones, and I started watching it, and then I identified with the Vulcans because I was like, okay, cool, like there's just things like I love people, right? I love that's my thing is like no matter what, I think that people are inherently good, and that like situations in life leads people to make decisions. Some people are more susceptible to some pitfalls than others, but that's based on what their predispositions are and things like that.
Sometimes over half the country
Right.
is that way.
Yeah, and but I believe that sometimes I think like, man, like I understand like that upsets you, but can you take that emotion away for a moment? Can you take that thing inside of us that circles the wagon? And because like psychology teaches us that like when we hear information that contradicts what we think is fact, our brain is designed to circle the wagon and defend the information that we already have. And if that wasn't the case, then we'd basically be a crazy person because we just let everything in every time we get some new information. But like, can we, for a moment, when people that we trust or respect, or just someone that's given us a new idea, take away that emotion and hear and understand and just sort of like evaluate it from a non-human emotional point of view and be just a little Vulcan and let that and when I saw the Vulcans, I was like, wow, that's really cool. That's the thing I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
That's why they would make great like ship captains.
Well,
You
there's
know?
something. Yeah, there's something that Spock would say, and he'd always say something is logical. You know,
Yeah.
and because he would process
Or
information
that something's not logical. Yeah.
or not
Mhm.
Yeah.
logical. Right?
Yeah.
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 Highly illogical.
So in a way, what you're talking about is processing information logically, not being prejudiced by your preconceived ideas. You know,
Yeah.
so
And emotions.
I know I
Yeah.
love the original Star Trek because of my dad. But I was born in 66, as was Star Trek.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, those 3 years, it basically it was a Western in space
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
Is that what it felt like then?
Yes.
Is that yes.
Yes.
I-
Well, I
Growing
don't
up, I found it
remember that
boring.
originally. I remembered in repeats when I was older. And yes, it felt like a Western, like he was John Wayne, you know, Captain Kirk was John Wayne, and uh uh you know,
Spock,
Spock
Scotty.
was Tonto.
Okay.
Maybe.
But they're on the same. They're all in the same horse.
True.
Right, they're on the
true.
same one.
They're all on the same horse.
Well, who was
but,
Sulu? Remember Sulu?
That's what made it boring to me, was they were always in the
I know.
same damn room on the bridge. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah.
always, but usually.
Or it looked like the same set with shit rearranged, like every
Yeah.
scene. Looked like the
Yeah.
same
Sometimes
set,
they'd go
really.
through the door.
Well,
the
if
doors
they
that
didn't
whisper.
have a
You go,
lot of
"Shh."
budget.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It
oh
was-
yeah, the sound they made.
And then all the
Um,
all the lights and buttons on the console of the captain's chair,
Yeah.
it absolutely did nothing.
my new favorite is Discovery. I love Discovery.
That's
Yeah.
a Star Trek, also.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Star Trek. Yeah. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I love I love all the new ones. I need to catch up on all of Discovery because they're like on season
Me
4
too.
now, right?
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on like
And I
season 4.
haven't. I watched the first season of Picard, but I haven't finished. I need to see more of it.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus is basically the Star Trek network, I think.
That's why I'm behind because that's the one I don't have. Paramount
The
Plus.
absolute
We
newest,
might have
the
that.
absolute newest
I'm not
ones
sure.
I like, but I tend to like the corny old shit, just like I like classic wrestling. You know, I like wrestling from back in the 70s where everybody was like over the top, like like Sergeant
Mhm.
Slaughter and all this
Can
crazy
you smell what the
ridiculous shit.
Rock is cooking?
Right, the Iron Sheik, and Bobby Heenan and all that shit. The more high tech and the better it got, it was like that's kind of the way I am with Star Trek. So I like the old cheesy,
Yeah.
Did you see
nostalgic
Mr.
shit.
McMahon?
Yeah, I did watch that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it was intense.
It was, yeah. And
Is
his
that a
fall,
is that a
his,
documentary on Vince McMahon, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
his fall from
Hmm.
grace is basically documented in the series because it happened right in the middle of
Right.
the
Right publicly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's wild, man. Like the industry is wild, man. I've come across some of these situations where, the abuse is just like right there in your face and you're just like,
Rampant.
really? Like really? Like that's like how do you get to a point of being comfortable doing these behaviors?
Roid
Is
rage.
is
Well,
wild, I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah, I mean for them,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
they
look
they
at
at least they have that
McMahon. He was
excuse.
on roids too.
oh yeah, for sure.
Dude,
He
every
wasn't.
time I look at him.
Yeah.
But he would do things like he would write. He had the ring divas or whatever, and he would write storylines and stuff like that that would put him into positions, compromising positions with them and stuff like that. So but the point is, I like some of the new Star Trek, the very latest Star Trek that Paramount is doing. I think that stuff is really good work. I mean, I think it looks like it like combines the spirit of the original series with the most beautiful cinematography that you can, and I mean, the starship looks like a showcase, and the characters are kind of laid back. They'll have conversations where they're having a drink or something like that in the evening and stuff. And it's just, I did like the series. I didn't finish the series, but I did like the latest ones.
Discovery.
The ones in the 2000s and 1990s with Riker and all that, and Picard and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't care for that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you were missing was
Not
the
better, but Next Generation did
was
not.
the Kirk aspect of trying to have sex with every female in the universe.
Right.
That was
What is that?
Riker's job.
Oh,
Wait, that was an element of the show?
basically, yeah. Kirk
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kirk hooked up with alien women all the time. It feels
So
like.
in that respect, he has a lot
Oh,
in
constantly.
common
That's
with
where
McMahon.
the green lady, the green woman comes from.
Wait,
Not to
he,
mention Uhura.
wait, he had a kid and she was green?
No.
No, there was.
Did he?
No, he hooked up with a green lady.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Oh, yeah. I mean,
He
A
was
green
yeah,
alien.
we're into that, man. That's a whole subcategory, man.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a big thing back in the 60s.
Wasn't that Yvonne DiCarlo who later played Batgirl? I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I think it was.
So
I don't know.
what is the element from Star Trek or Star Wars that like you like, okay, we got AI and we got Tesla trucks and stuff, but like what's the thing that you're like, man, like why can't we have that? Like that
Replicators
beaming somebody
eliminate
somewhere.
world
that's
hunger.
the thing for me. Beaming me up. Like beam me up, Scotty. That's
Oh,
what I
well,
want.
yeah.
Right.
But for me, it's replicators to eliminate world hunger.
Oh, replicators, yeah.
Is that,
Well, I
So,
think
but
that
does the
later Star
replicator
Trek?
work without resource? Does it
No,
need like material?
that's early Star Trek.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah,
But what about?
I think so.
I mean, I know we got holograms now,
I
right?
don't know. I'd have to watch it again.
But why aren't they?
Been forever.
Why aren't they utilized the way that they were on Star Trek? Why don't when you have a board
Because
meeting?
the
They brought
technology doesn't
Tupac back,
exist.
man. What do you want?
Yeah.
That's
The,
right.
the hologram machine is
But why
the size of our house.
why wouldn't you have a
probably.
board in a boardroom? Why wouldn't you have the CEO, the CIO, the finance manager, all in different parts of the world sitting around
Because
the
they
table?
don't want anybody seeing their 3D body.
And we don't have holograms that are not
Not
projected on screens. Like
No.
all of our holograms are projected onto something.
Right? Yeah.
And the ones they have are
Screens or
just
water
like,
vapor or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point. We're not there
Yeah.
yet, I guess.
I mean, that technology is foreshadowed.
Plus, they probably stand
But-
up and you find out they're not wearing pants or something. You know.
That's
Exactly.
it.
yeah,
These guys are gonna.
yes.
These guys are used to picking their nose off screen, and they're gonna be.
Right, right.
I mean, I feel like the Apple Vision Meta AI stuff, like the Meta Vision, and I think that was like part of like when they would like step into someone else's point of view or something like that. I think that was in there in at least some kind of way. But yeah, no, yeah. I mean, and come on, like, why can't we have a real saber? I mean, I'm not saying it's practical. I'm just saying like someone can make a laser that can cut itself
Yeah.
off but still be strong enough to do some damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at what point would you be
But
forcing
should they?
technology to replicate what was in a film? You know, is it
Yeah, yeah. I
really-
mean, it's not practical, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, but you've got to give it time. You look at the movie The Abyss. Okay? The helmets that they designed for that movie so that they could actually see the actor's face.
hmm
Those are now being used by Navy SEALs so that they can see in the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. Aaron made my
Is
nose
that
itch.
is that a James Cameron?
Huh?
Is that a James
Yeah.
Cameron movie? The Abyss?
Yeah, I think so.
Was that the one with the kids?
No.
Okay.
No, this was
It's like a submarine, really deep
they go down
underwater.
into the I guess the Mariana Trench.
Mhm.
And while they're down there, they run into ginormous sea monster type things.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, I remember.
And no, that might be aliens. Was that Cameron? I think
This
so.
is
Aliens was definitely Cameron, but
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't
this
matter.
is
Oh.
But yeah, those helmets were
Yeah, James
designed to
Cameron.
go down in the tanks while they were filming. And the Navy SEALs actually adapted that design. So reality does follow art form. It's just sometimes it takes a while to get there.
Right.
Oh yeah, especially when it's as forward as a laser sword that can literally
Yeah.
clash with another laser.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, be cooler to just beam to Europe or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take the beam any day. Like just
Yeah.
beam me home from work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like to fly, me too. It'd be fantastic. I could.
I used to walk home from junior high dreaming of hovercraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole ride. I'm thinking about what it would be like to have a hovercraft.
So let me ask you this though, but do you think the hovercraft isn't the thing because I believe, and I've seen, of course, they have the technology to make hovercrafts. I just think that the demand for a hovercraft is lower than the risk and the resources that it takes to make it. Like, for example, if they thought that we were not going to create a massive disaster with hovercrafts and we were running out of space on the ground for cars, then we would have had hovercrafts 20 years ago. Because they've made ones that you can purchase and that you can
Yeah,
fly,
they've,
and
they've got flying cars now.
yeah.
Experiment.
I think that's one of the ones that they can do. It's just like, do they
Maybe it's not
Yes.
advisable. Should
You don't
you?
want midair fender benders.
or I guess it come down on somebody's house during
Yeah.
dinner, you know? But like all they would have to do is create like a roadway where it's not over someone's place, and you
Yeah.
know, I don't know. And even in Vegas, and we
You
listen.
look at
This,
what's the movie with Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich? Uh, something Fifth Element.
Oh. I didn't see The Fifth Element.
Oh, really? It's pretty good. It's really good, actually.
All right.
Chris Rock is amazing in it.
oh yeah, Fifth Element. Oh
Really
yeah.
shocked.
Oh yeah. I
Really
love that
impressive.
movie.
Huh?
That movie was hilarious.
Yep.
His Rock was funny as heck.
Yep.
All right,
She
Gino.
was so hot. Mila.
Oh yeah, yeah. That,
Yeah.
yeah, and Gary Oldman was good in that Fifth
Yeah.
Element.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Fifth Element, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
Bruce doing
Bruce
any
Willis. They even got a really good performance out of Bruce Willis.
better? Wait, are you saying that he normally doesn't do a good performance?
No,
I
I wouldn't
like
say that.
Bruce.
He's good in Pulp Fiction.
There are a lot of
Good in
3-star movies out there starring Bruce Willis.
Well,
Okay.
he's got
Moonlighting was fun.
personality.
Yeah, a lot.
He has a lot
So-
of
Yeah,
personality.
there are plenty of things
And
where
there's
he's
the-
actually good.
There's the Yippee-Ki-Yay motherfucker movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Tears
But
of the
there-
Sun is one of my favorite movies all time. And it's a movie where he plays like a soldier. I think he's best when he's playing a soldier or something similar. But yeah, I mean, funny
Haven't
story.
seen
So
it.
I'm in Madison Square. No, not Madison Square Garden. Central Park. Central Park sounds like Madison Square Garden if you think about it logically, but it's
A little
not.
bit.
It's a square park in, But anyways, so I'm in Central Park and I see Bruce Willis walk by. He's just casually walking by, and I'm just like, and this is like early in my film career, so I'm just like, oh, I gotta get a photo. I gotta post it on social media. I'm gonna leave zero context. I have to. So I walk over to him and I go like, hey, so can we just like casually get a photo so no one notices that it's you? And he goes, go for it. And then he leans over my shoulder. I take the photo. He says, let me see it. And then I show it to him. He says, now we got to do a better one. So then I give him the phone. He's like taking a selfie. Then someone walks over to me. It's like an Asian girl walks over to me and goes like, can I have photo with you? And she takes a photo with me. And Bruce Willis just wanders off. What?
That's beautiful. Who'd she think
That's
you
crazy.
were?
I have no
Or
idea,
did
but
she
she has
just
a
think you were
photo.
hot?
Yeah, she has a photo of me, and she let Bruce Willis off the hook. I was like,
Awesome.
She probably thinks you're like, I don't know. Who do you think,
I don't know
Didn't
who
know
I
who Bruce
look
Willis
like.
was.
Yeah, do you
Right,
guys
right.
know who Hill Hopper is? I've gotten Hill Hopper before, but other than that, like I haven't got Hill Hopper. He is, let's see, what
What's
is his
he in?
big?
I don't know his name.
So right now he's still in The Good Doctor. Um, um,
Oh, okay.
I've gotten him before, but like no one else. I don't think
Is that the young guy that was in Psycho or something?
I'm
No,
not
he's saying
seeing
the
some.
doctor.
Oh,
Doctor Who.
Oh, I thought. Okay,
Right?
I thought you said the good
No,
doctor.
the
Oh,
good
the
doctor.
good doc. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
I saw once again the first season of something.
yeah. He's not the main character of anything, honestly.
No.
Okay.
But you know what? If I were an actor, I would want to be that guy, the one that works in everything, but who cares if I'm famous?
Right. There you go. Like, I mean, apparently it's so much better when you're not when you get the money without the fame.
Right,
Apparently it's so
exactly.
much better. But you know, I'm just
If I
working
were a
on both right
musician,
now.
I'd want to be a studio musician.
Yeah. Oh, what kind of musician?
Studio.
Okay. There you go.
Instead of
Respected
touring
by all the actors, used or by all the regular,
musicians.
musicians, the famous guys brought in, where it really counts.
You're the hired
Exactly.
gun.
Yep. I want to be
Exactly.
the hired gun in the background.
The session
Man.
guitarist or
Yeah.
drummer.
Studio session. Yeah.
All right,
Man.
Gino.
Drink your beer.
I prepared an Elite Eight mini bracket,
Uh-oh.
but I don't know. Looking at it, I'm not sure that did it really.
I'm going to
Is-
rewrite a little bit of it.
Is the Screen Queens one?
So let me
Yeah.
do it.
First of all,
Okay.
would you be up to doing it? We're
Let's
kind of
try it.
winding down.
Let's give it a go.
Give it a go. Okay.
Okay.
We'll try to. It's usually good
So-
about 5 minutes.
You guys are going to rate the Scream Queens, and I'm going to be your hostess.
Okay.
So basically, it's an Elite Eight type of bracket. So the first group, the first two are Martine Boswick versus Fay Ray.
Let's see.
Fay Ray's the only one I know, so I'm one Fay Ray.
Yeah.
King Kong.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just need to. I'm doing wait real quick. So I feel like Fay Ray. Oh, Fay Ray for sure.
Okay.
Fay
Do you
Ray
know
for
who
sure.
Martine Beswick is?
I don't.
I don't.
Okay. She's like a 60s and 70s B actress, but she's kind of like Morticia or Vampira or something. She's got this really, like
Female
gothic-
vampire vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at her now, and she definitely has the Morticia going on. Like,
Yeah.
easy
Right.
typecast.
Was she the one that got got knocked up by
Gomez?
no.
No.
No. The actor, the big time actor, Rosebud.
Oh, Orson Welles?
Yeah.
Orson Welles.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Okay.
Say
Yeah.
Johnson
He
Richardson.
Orson Welles dated
That's-
a precursor to Elvira, and he knocked her up, and he basically took the baby, but he never told her, and she ended up. I don't know. It's very complicated.
So he took the child from her, and she never got it back.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
That's
She
why.
just kind of let him do whatever he wanted, I guess.
It almost never works like that.
Yeah.
He must have been a really big movie star.
Okay,
Who's
so
the next one?
The
Ray
next
moves on.
pairing is a mother-daughter pairing.
Okay.
Janet Leigh or Jamie Lee?
Ooh, I'm gonna go Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Other side goes a classic, but
Because she's got a longer resume.
Wait a minute.
as
You're the
far as
host.
The
I
Scream
get
Queen
to
goes.
vote.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
That's my.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Jamie Lee. It's a sweet.
Jamie Lee moves on.
Jamie Lee.
Because of the amount of work, the body of work.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah, Jamie Lee for me, she feels like she's always had like to me, I don't know, like I know she's like still working and stuff, but to me she's always been like just like Scream Queen royalty.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
probably is the reason that term exists.
Right.
Started Halloween.
Yeah, I think she's
It-
actually the precursor.
They say Fay Ray was the first Scream Queen, but that's before our time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Pair up number 3. Linda Blair versus Dee Wallace Stone.
Okay.
I mean, Linda Blair,
Mhm.
come on. Like I think
Yeah.
yeah. When you put The Exorcist on your resume, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to compete.
And then she had other horror stuff after that, right?
Right.
Did she?
Nothing quite as good. Nothing of that quality.
Oh. I mean, it's The
Well,
Exorcist.
oh wow,
No.
she's never won an Academy Award. Wow.
Yeah,
know that.
she tried to go to see The Exorcist, and the people at the theater wouldn't let her in because
too
she
young.
was too young.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's like, "That's me on the poster," and he goes, "Unless you can show me ID that says you were 17 on that poster, you're not getting in,"
Well,
or something to that effect.
I'm gonna go Linda Blair
Yeah.
too, but B. Wallace Stone, I guess Cujo was her main thing, right? Or did she?
Well, Cujo and
E.T.?
also Lost
yeah.
Boys.
E.T.
And E.T. She's the
Not
one.
so much a scream
She's not
queen.
screaming in that one.
No. But yeah, wasn't that
Yeah,
her
Lost Boys,
in
too.
Lost Boys? Yeah.
Hmm.
I
She
gotta go
was
Linda
more
Blair.
scream victim than scream queen.
Yeah, she's in all the movies though.
Yeah, she's in those movies.
Okay.
But Jamie Lee's definitely got, or I mean,
Linda Blair.
Yeah, Linda Blair. Sorry.
right,
Okay.
fourth pair.
Now, our fourth pair up: Jenna Ortega versus Nev Campbell.
Listen, I look. So I love Gino Ortega. I'm part of the franchise. But we can't. I just think it's too early to throw her into any of those categories.
Mm-hmm.
She's just
Even
like.
if she is Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
What's the other one she did? Prey. Prey. Is she in that?
Is she?
We saw her.
I could be thinking of the wrong actress.
We saw her in Wolfman and the other the Ryan Reynolds character.
The thing is, she's overwhelmingly known for her comedy and her Disney stuff, right?
Yeah.
You mean
Overwhelming,
Wolverine
like,
and
yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine?
Wolverine
in
and
that?
Deadpool. Yeah, she was in that.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
But
That's
she's
not
got the
horror, though.
she's got the
No.
body of work to pass. I'm not gonna say pass, but to put herself into the category with any of these women we're talking about. But not yet. Let's put her on the bench real quick. Let her.
So you going Nev Campbell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
what about you, Aaron?
I've not seen the Scream movies.
You ought to at
And
least see the first one.
Well, one
It's
day
worth
maybe.
watching.
Haley used to watch it. My daughter, like, probably every other weekend, but I just, it wasn't for me, I guess, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go Jenna Ortega. I'll throw her a vote. Phil gets to break this tie.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nev Campbell. I think.
Yeah, the only reason he saw Scream 6 is because I made him.
She's the one from Party of Five, right?
Nev Campbell, yes. Mm-hmm.
I've seen her in that.
Scream was kind of a phenomenon, and I kind of agree with.
She did an okay job.
I kind of agree with Gino that Jennifer Ortega. And I'm not sure that
It's too soon.
Wednesday was a great role, but I'm not sure
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a Scream. It's comedic.
Yeah, but she's got like 2 or 3 other horror roles.
Yeah.
Creepy and Mickey but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So round 3
Okay.
or round 2. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we're in
so-
round 2.
Final 4.
Yeah, final 4, round 2. Faye Ray versus Jamie Lee.
Gotta go
For
Jamie
this.
Lee Curtis, I think.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Yeah, I'll make that a sweep.
Okay. Part 2, Linda Blair versus Nev Campbell.
Linda Blair.
Linda Blair.
Oh, wait, hold on now.
I know, right? Is Nev Campbell in
Okay.
anything other than Scream?
Okay, I'm going Linda
Well,
Blair. I'm going
There's
Linda.
like 5 or 6 of them though she's in.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is there any other horror genre, that she's in? I don't think so.
Okay, so
I think once you
Linda
have 5 or
Blair
6
moves
movies,
on.
you're qualified though.
Right.
I'm gonna throw one to Nev Campbell just for
Okay.
just for shits and giggles.
So Nev Campbell versus Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh no,
Yeah, nope.
because
Oh,
Jamie Lee versus Linda Blair
I missed.
is our final 2.
Okay.
I'm going Jamie Lee.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to go with Jamie Lee Curtis. She's
Okay. champion scream queen
She's
and
the-
the originator of the phrase.
Yep.
Yeah, she had the best scream.
Right.
Well, of course, I haven't seen Scream, so maybe I'm wrong.
So
Just
I would
Halloween
like
movie.
to.
Oh my God, seminal
Mm-hmm.
movies.
I would like to give an honorable mention to a person that I'm not seeing pop up here. Because while we're talking about this, I'm like popping through these names and I'm looking at these lists, and I'm like, I don't see Dakota Fanning listed anywhere. Because she's been doing, okay, so it wasn't always horror movies, but it has been horror movies. But she's been doing movies that are scary for a long time. Now, no, she's not working that much lately, but I mean, The Watchers just came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I think she's doing some TV though, right?
Yeah, she's been doing some TV, but if you go back to when she was, Oat Studios, Zygote, you go The Benefactor, you go Taken, Eclipse, Hound Dogs. It's a long list of stuff that, like, if you consider her age and the role, and the amount of anxiety that it gave you watching her play those roles at that age. And there was one where I forget the name of the movie. It was not Vicious, because she did Vicious 2 in it's coming out in 2025, and she did an older one too. But there was a role, I forget the name of the film, but she had like a pet friend there was a girl who like ate people, and it was like her friend. And I gotta find that. I'll send it to you guys. I can't describe it now, but I just thought that Dakota Fanning would be on that list.
Good actress.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're not traditional Scream type movies.
No.
And this is just a little fun exercise that we do.
No, that's point well made.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I can't even picture her face. I haven't seen enough of her. I haven't seen enough of her movies.
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah.
You'd recognize her more as a child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who
Even
else
now, though,
as a child that brings to mind is Christina Ricci.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
She's in what? Interview with a Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
The Headless Horseman, Spooky Hollow.
She was the original Wednesday.
She was the original movie Wednesday.
I know who she is now. I know her face for sure. That's a good.
You've seen her, you just don't know her name necessarily.
Dakota.
Not to mention, you might be mixing her up with her sister, Elle Fanning.
Yeah, Elle Fanning is doing a lot of stuff.
She's more active, like currently.
Correct.
Dakota looks like there's a lot going on behind those eyes. Like she could. She could definitely play some scream queen roles. I know. But all right. This is some good honorable mentions. Christina Ricci, I loved her in Buffalo '66.
Oh yeah, that was good. If you haven't seen that is such a good movie.
And she was the original Wednesday too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gino pointed that out.
She was the original movie Wednesday.
Right.
Buffalo '66.
Can't remember the girl's name I can't remember the actress's name that played Wednesday in the show. For shame.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Oh, you mean back in the original Addams Family?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was in a movie called Black Snake Moon.
Was that
Samuel L.
Christina?
Jackson? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie was so inappropriate.
Yeah, that was rad.
Oh yeah,
That was crazy.
That's what got Lisa Bonet.
That's
what got Lisa Bonet fired, isn't it? Is that the one that got Lisa Bonet fired from Cosby Show?
I don't know if Lisa Bonet was.
No, this is long after the Cosby Show.
There was a movie that Lisa was in where she's like, she did nudity.
Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart.
This is this is 20 years after that.
Yeah, good for me. Yeah, well, I'm old.
Yeah,
I'm the oldest person on this podcast, so
I just want to know who made the decision to fire Lisa for being naked. Like, I just want to know who's the guy.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Knowing what we know now about Cosby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cosby didn't want to ruin his reputation.
He didn't want anybody getting on to him, you know?
That's right.
He was like, she's bringing too much heat.
She was difficult, but maybe there's a reason she was difficult.
Hey, listen, like, she had a father that wasn't going to take any shit, so he was probably he's probably like, look, like, all these other people are needing, you know, to sort of make their name on this show, because I think everyone else pretty much launched from there, right? Malcolm Jamal Warner launched from there. Felicia Rashad, she had a little bit of action before that, but she launched from there. Everybody launched from there.
Not so much Tempest Bledsoe, but
who's that? I miss.
Was she?
The
Rudy was.
Is that
no,
Rudy?
the youngest daughter. That's whose name I can't remember.
Well, she's the
right
Marcia.
this second.
She's the Marcia.
Right, she's kind of the
middle
Martha,
girl.
the middle child.
The Jan?
The Jan.
Yeah, the Jan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember her now. I can picture her face.
Yeah. But I think she just decided not to continue. But the youngest daughter.
Isn't Zoe Kravitz? Isn't that Lisa Bonet and Lenny
Yeah.
Kravitz's daughter? Now she's
Yeah.
a really good actress. She was.
But she was raised by Jason Momoa, not Kravitz.
Yeah. She had a series on Amazon Prime or something.
It's really good. It's
Yeah.
high fidelity.
High Fidelity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Based on the
Forgot they made a
mostly
series
based on
of
the
that.
movie. Huh?
I forgot they made a series out of that.
Yeah, it's really good.
yeah.
All
I think
right. We promised you an hour. Got that and then some.
Yeah, we kept you a little
Awesome.
longer. Sorry.
no
So let
worries.
me ask
We're
you,
having
is
fun.
there anything that we didn't cover that you would normally like to cover?
No, I mean, you know, guys.
No, we digress.
No, we're having fun. We're talking film and actress and scream queens, which was so fun because we were like diving into looking at some of these same names. We're looking at, like, literally on the phone with their agents, trying to say, like, well, what if we have a cameo by this person? What if we change this
Yeah.
and write this person as a cameo? Like, so a lot of the names on this list, because, you know, a lot of them are now at the point where they're like, I'll take a short day. You know,
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe one of the Goon of the Lagoon ladies will become a scream queen.
wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
You
to
can
just,
say
you know,
you were
speak
there
that,
when.
speak
Right.
that into existence.
Mhm.
Just
Not a problem.
I'm on social media at Sir_Gino,
Mhm.
and that's the easiest way to keep up with all the stuff we're doing. I mean, everything is so fractured into many different pieces and places, but if it's cool or big and happening in my world, then at some point it's going to find its way onto that page.
All right.
Cool.
Excellent.
Sir_Gino.
Yep, a knight of the realm.
And
Nice to meet you,
ladies
and
and
I enjoyed your
gentlemen,
film.
definitely check out Goon at the Lagoon. It's a really good movie.
Nice
Good
to meet you
title,
guys
too.
as well.
Good
Thanks for
seeing
taking the time to chat and share.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Have a good
Thank you.
night.
All right. Good luck.
We have
Thank you.
social.
Twitter,
Yeah, pod.
Instagram,
Yeah, pod.
Facebook.
Yeah, pod. So let us know. Hit us back. Have a great week.